Rose is an original, a Detroit original, stepping out from shadows of which there would always be comparisons and ascending to even greater heights. This is the story before the iconic long shorts and black socks, before the red suit, and before he became a household name. Before becoming one of the most recognizable and sought-after sports and social commentators in the nation, this is the story of a local boy whose life has come full circle. This is Legends, Jalen Rose. Throughout the 20th century, the Detroit Public High School League, or the PSL, had a long history of hoops icons. All-Americans like Dave DeBusschere, Reggie Harding, Spencer Haywood, Robert Bubbles Hawkins, and countless others paved the way for a generation of stars that would take the 1980s by storm. That included a kid with an unusual first name.
When I went into labor with Jalen, my brother, whose name is Leonard, took me to the hospital, but we called him Lynn, so hence James, his father James, J-A-L-E-N.
Jalen Rose was born with basketball in his DNA. He was Jimmy Walker's son. Although Jalen would never meet his father, Walker led the nation in scoring while at Providence in 1967. He was the #1 pick in the NBA draft by the Detroit Pistons and left the game a two-time All-Star. Jalen was born in 1973, and his love for basketball at a young age became an obsession.
I'm old enough to remember playing basketball on a milk crate nailed to a telephone pole. Shoot from distance, shoot with range, try to shoot with touch.
Jalen honed his craft at the city's round ball mecca, a small, inconspicuous gym at St. Cecilia's Parish.
Oh, St. Cecilia, that's the holy grail of basketball, arguably in the country. That's the proving ground for players in the Detroit metropolitan area. Because you have a wall, literally, where you have to pay attention to the court. You have to have good court sense. Are you gonna really run for that loose ball, the lower ceiling? You can't just raise up and shoot from the hash mark or from half court when it's 3-2-1 because it's gonna hit the ceiling, okay? On the baseline, yeah, you can go drive to the basket out of control if you want, but it's 2 stairs right underneath the rim. And you're gonna fall and break your neck. So that's when I started shooting runners. I started shooting floaters. Like, these fans have seen everybody come through here, okay? They know what they're looking at. And so earning the respect of St. Cecilia's crowd meant more to me than any crowd I ever played in front of. It's not even close.
I spent a lot of days at St. Cecilia, the hot gym, but that was the place to be. Anybody that played basketball wanted to play at St. Cecilia, and they did.
When you reflect back on what St. Cecilia meant to basketball in the city of Detroit and all over the state, I have a count of 108 players that played at St. Cecilia, then went on to the NBA. I don't think there's another city, I don't think there was another venue that had that kind of success.
He would watch the George Gervins play, and Jalen always put himself on that stage. He always felt, I can play with them guys. So when he got to high school and had an opportunity to play, his thing was, Coach, we never go lose a game at St. Cecilia. I said, well, Jalen, summer is not that important. Summer is where we develop skills. Coach, we're not losing to St. Cecilia.
When state champs Legends returns, Jalen Rose is headed to one of the premier high school basketball programs in the city, Detroit Southwestern High School, and the Prospectors finally make good on their promise to Perry. Next.
Coaching basketball is a rewarding and challenging pursuit, but you don't have to do it alone. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan are here to support you.
BCAM is the largest coaches association in the country with nearly 6,000 members representing college, high school, and middle school ranks. Members have access to drills, clinics, job opportunities, and it's the only way to vote for our annual awards, including Mr. and Miss Basketball.
Join today by visiting bcam.org, because better coaching always matters.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's. Dough Raiser. Your team or school can sell paper pizza certificates that can be redeemed for one medium pizza at participating locations.
We've been doing this fundraiser for about 4 years, and it's the easiest and best and most profitable fundraiser they have in Michigan.
Go to doughraiser.com to learn more and sign up. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
Affordable luxury are words that don't typically go together, except when you're talking about the pre-owned vehicles from M97 Auto Dealer. For over 35 years, the family-owned M97 Auto Dealer has helped Metro Detroiters ride in style without going broke, all thanks to their great financing and great customer service. To find out more and to search their inventory, visit m97autodealer.com today.
Perry Watson took over the Southwestern High School basketball team in 1978 and inherited a program that had only won 4 games in 2 years. It wasn't long before he changed the culture.
I had played at Southwestern, so a lot of my players I had played with maybe their fathers, their uncles, went to school with maybe their mothers, their aunts. So one of the things that I knew about that area was the qualities that most of the young people brought with them.
To be successful, you got to surround yourself with successful people. So he had a really good staff of teachers and coaches that were dedicated to follow his mission. And fortunately enough for us, Southwestern was an open school, so anybody in the city could come to Southwestern. It wasn't a boundary. Hard work, discipline, focus, maintaining your academics with an eye on, eventually going to college and making something of yourself.
First team I had, we had 9 seniors. Some people said cut the seniors and play the young guys, and I just don't believe in throwing lives away. So out of those 9 seniors, we got 8 of them scholarships, whether it was junior colleges or whatever. And I think that's what started the process. When kids came in, they expected to be great, not only as players, but they expected to have opportunities to go to college. And the winning was just a byproduct.
From 1982 to 1987, Watson's teams went to 6 consecutive state championships, although they came back empty-handed 6 times, leading some to wonder, would the team ever win the big one? But a force was coming to Southwestern that no team would be able to contain.
Jalen was playing at St. Cecilia for the legendary Sam Washington, and Sam watched every high school team that came into St. Cecilia to play. He watched all the coaches, and unbeknownst to me, Sam was making judgments on who should be able to coach Jalen. So Sam introduced Jalen and his mom to me like at 12 years old. Mom was a lady that really knew basketball, was really giving and demanding of Jalen, and they almost let me know at 12 that he's gonna play for you, Coach, one day.
I put him in Catholic school up to his 8th grade. So I decided, well, he needed a little of both of this world. He needed the private school experience, but he needed the public school experience too. Let's face it, this is the real world. So he decided he wanted to go to Southwestern and play for Perry Watson. So I said, good deal.
Jalen remembers it slightly differently.
You're not going to Cooley. Therefore, if you want to go to another school, you can go play for him. There's Perry Watson. Perry meet Jalen. He's yours. That's how that happened.
By the time Jalen enrolled at Southwestern in 1987, the Prospectors were already a force to be reckoned with in the city. 4 PSL city championships in 6 years behind the likes of those like the Judge, Antoine Joubert, 1983's Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan.
Detroit, as a major metropolitan city, has as many sports and basketball icons and legends as there is compared to any city across the country. Starting with Spencer Haywood, Derek Coleman, Steve Smith, we talked about Antoine Joubert. I won't do the list justice to sit here and try to name it, because I know I'm going to leave somebody out. And that's a sense of pride that we had. So if you won Detroit City title, it's like you won the national title. It's like you won the international title. Like, you're the best team if you win the Detroit City title, period.
Southwestern won 9 Detroit PSL championships from 1982 to 1991, 3 of which came against Detroit Cooley. But Cooley won the state championship in 87, 88, and 89, beating Southwestern twice in the state finale. This rivalry was fierce, and it all culminated in Jalen's junior season, one play that nearly ended his career.
Being a lefty on the left side, I kind of left my body open, and he obviously had the intention he wanted to clothesline me. It don't take from the fact that he basically clotheslined me. Fell onto the floor, hit my head, went into convulsions. I was unconscious. You know, you can hear a pin drop in the building. And I remember just being on the stretcher as we were leaving the gym to the ambulance. It was probably like 5 feet. And I just think the cold weather just, you know, made me pop my eyes open. And I just remember sitting there, my mother was crying. I couldn't move my neck. You know, they had me really strapped down and not knowing if I was going to be paralyzed or something like that.
And I just think that this young man, he didn't know that the game was over or refused to accept. Jalen has a breakaway dunk, up over 20-something points, and for him to go in and necktie Jalen and the way he came down the back of his head, it was just really unnerving.
You know, there was a point where it was like, you know, just so you know, the worst case scenario could be that you played your last game. So if I come back with that news, are you going to be ready to do the rehab necessary that you can still be a productive individual and we can get your health back? That conversation did happen.
So Jalen grabs my hand and he said, "Coach, I don't want to stay." He said, "I don't want to stay." So I talked to the doctors and say, "Listen, can he go home with me?" And I said, "What would I have to do?" They said, "Well, you got to stay up and observe him because whatever." So when we left the hospital, Jalen came home with me. I think they wanted Jalen to sit out maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So man, he's punching me for 2 or 3 weeks. "Coach, I'm ready, I'm ready." So when he was given the go-ahead to play, that was my sense of relief. And he didn't respond being scared of a hit, scared to take it to the basket. And that's when I knew he was gonna be something special. And it was probably the signal that got him to be the player he was in college and pro, because he played fearless from that point on.
In 1990, and for the 3rd straight year, Southwestern found themselves in the state finals. Only this time, things were different. Behind an unbelievable supporting cast that included future NBA players Howard Isley and Bashawn Leonard, Jalen helped Southwestern to the #1 ranking in the state and the country. Nothing would stop them from finally winning a state championship for Perry Watson.
We sacrificed for each other, and we made each other better, and we made each other work. On days I was tired, they'd get on my case. Howard take a bad shot, I'm get on his case. Bo not working hard, and so we were each other's keeper. And we were the leaders of the team, and so to win a state championship and to do it in the Palace, you know, we also felt like it was a little bit of jinx probably happening playing, you know, at the Breslin for all of those years, playing in Ann Arbor, because our team never won.
They wanted it for me and the players that had played before them. So it was a great crown to get under that venue, because to look up and see all my former players and even the parents of my former players there to see us win the state championship.
It means a lot because Coach Watson been through a lot. You know, they always talk about the monkey on his back, and you know, he can't win a big one and everyone choked, so we figured we'd go out and win this one for Coach.
Nothing meant more than winning that game. Nothing meant more than doing it for that group of guys, doing it for the Southwestern family and our fans who were terrific. And Coach Perry Watson, like, we took a lot of pride in it, and you know, those are memories that we'll all cherish forever.
After lifting Southwestern to the mountaintop, Jalen Rose makes a decision on where to take his talents at the next level, and later, making a fashion statement on the biggest night of his life, when State Champs Legends returns.
When you graduate from Northwestern Tech, heating and cooling companies take notice. And getting noticed is nice, but even better when it comes with respect.
With a demand for HVAC techs and the type of money you can make in this industry, skilled tradespeople are getting the respect that they deserve.
Hands-on training, experienced instructors, and thousands of Northwestern Tech graduates.
In just 10.5 months, you can have the career and the respect you deserve.
Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school that works.
Buy like the car dealers by using the exclusive M97 Auto Dealers Auction Network. Only at M97 does our staff go out to find the car you desire at lower prices than anywhere else. For over 35 years, the family-owned M97 Auto Dealer has helped Metro Detroiters ride in style at the right price. All thanks to the guaranteed financing and great customer service. To find out more and to search their inventory, visit m97autodealer.com today.
At Yellow Flag Productions, we do more than just create great content for our clients. We bring groundbreaking visual and audio quality to meet all your media needs. TV and video production, social media development, multi-channel marketing, live video streaming, and podcasts. Our reputation speaks for itself with 6 Michigan Emmy Awards. For more information, visit yellowflagproductions.com.
Fanuc America is the #1 supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation. Our certified automation training prepares students for high-tech careers in advanced manufacturing. Manufacturers use automation to maximize productivity. That's why high-paying careers in advanced automation are in demand today. Our CERT program provides manufacturers and educators a STEM-based curriculum centered on robotics and automation training. Contact Fanuc to learn more about our certified automation training programs.
All of a sudden, the 3-on-1.
Detroit Southwestern finally earned Perry Watson State Championship during Jalen Rose's junior year. They'd repeat the feat the following season. Jalen graduated one of the all-time greats in Detroit and one of the premier swing men in the country. Now, it was time to focus on his next journey.
Early in high school, anybody that knows me know, like, a lot of times you idolize the people that you know that go places and have success. So that's who you follow closely. So I'm following Steve Smith at Michigan State. I'm following Anderson Hunt at UNLV. I took visits during my recruiting process to both of those schools. I'm following what happens with Derek Coleman at Syracuse. I took a visit to Syracuse. That's just how that went down. And so I felt like initially Syracuse was going to be where I went. And I vacillated between those 3 schools, but then all of a sudden, just like Michigan just picked up steam as the other 4 guys signed.
But the way things happen, going into his senior year, UNLV goes on probation, Syracuse goes on probation. So it makes no sense to go to a school that's on probation. So kind of by that circumstance, they were eliminated.
Another mentor in Jalen's life was future mayor and former Detroit Piston guard Dave Bing, who ironically had been friends and backcourt mates with Jalen's father. He even gave Jalen a job during the summer at Bing Steel. Bing was a standout at Syracuse, but he always wanted what was best for Jalen when it came to his decision for college.
I'm a championship high school basketball player that went on to be a McDonald's All-American. So a lot of people tried to perceive Dave having me work for Bing Steel. They underestimated the fact that he was like my godfather, and my dad lived with him at a time of his life when he was down and out. People took that as he was trying to usher me to Syracuse, and that was never the case.
You got somebody sneaking in here. You make another appearance here. Perry, again, congratulations. And Mr. Weber, you want to make it official now? You came back to do that?
Oh yeah, no, I don't want to take away from him. This is his time. He the man. He just won the championship. This the man right here, J. Rowe.
As Southwestern was recognized the best team in the country, the #1 player in the nation was also a local boy, Chris Weber. The two struck up a friendship, and it was at the McDonald's All-American game they met a few other guys who were equally trying to find the right fit for their future.
That was the first time I actually met Chris, Jalen, and Juwan. And we hit it off. We spent a lot of time together, obviously, throughout that week. And that was the first time that I actually met him, and we kicked it off.
We sat out basically all night for basically 2 or 3 days. What you saw was planned. Like, we carefully crafted what we wanted to happen with our Fab Five situation. We just came up short, didn't win a championship. And we left that on the cutting room floor. But everything else we planned on doing, we talked about, we made happen.
We clicked, and that's just rare. Usually it takes time to warm up to people,
but it was almost instant. And, you know, it kind of translated into the way that we play.
Me coming from Texas, I didn't have a coat. You know, I came with a small little starter jacket. And so it started snowing. The first dude that offered me a coat was Jalen. So he's always been a leader, caring. He showed me the ropes in Detroit, Michigan area, and just taught me a lot about this area.
Jalen and the phenomenal Fab Five would go to back-to-back NCAA finals in their first 2 years and made it to the regional finals in their third year. Jalen decided it was time to make the leap to the pros.
450 jobs in the NBA, 30 teams, 15 roster spots. There are 3,000 people that have ever played in the NBA game.
When they call your son's name, it's, you know, it's a real joy, especially since you know that they've worked so hard to get to that point. And he did, he worked hard.
And then there was the iconic draft day red suit.
I had no idea he had this red suit. And I noticed every year after, at draft, they always managed to show that red suit. You know, to him, this represented Detroit swag.
So I had two choices. See, I'm watching the draft nowadays. These kids are a lot more sophisticated. You know, their agents give them a little money. They see they got their jewels and stuff like that. I ain't have a budget, okay? I went to Mr. Allen's, rest in peace, Ed Martin. He was gonna get me two suits. I think it was like two suits for $250, something like that, okay? And one of them was a lime green, and I had lime green Maury Gators. And the other one was red and white, and I had the red Maury Gators. Because I felt like either the Clippers were gonna take me at 7, or Seattle was gonna take me. Because those are the two teams that I was really talking about.
Jalen was taken by neither the Clippers nor the Supersonics in the '94 draft, but instead selected 13th overall by the Denver Nuggets, where he'd play for 2 seasons before moving on to the Indiana Pacers. He led the Pacers to 3 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals appearances, including 1 NBA Finals run, and was named the league's most improved player in 2000. Jalen averaged over 14 points per game during his 13-year pro career, and he retired in 2007.
I appreciated my time. I love so many people that I met and still have relationships with. Like, I never thought Larry Bird would ever know my name. You know, he was my coach for 3 years. You know, I played against Michael Jordan, you know, in the '98 conference finals and took them to Game 7. So, you know, memories like that I'll cherish forever.
Following his pro career, and despite an exciting, influential, and successful life behind the mic, Jalen Rose did something he thought he'd never do in the conclusion of State Champs Legends.
Coaching basketball is a rewarding and challenging pursuit, but you don't have to do it alone. The Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan are here to support you.
BCAM is the largest coaches association in the country with nearly 6,000 members representing college, high school, and middle school ranks. Members have access to drills, clinics, job opportunities, and it's the only way to vote for our annual awards, including Mr. and Miss Basketball.
Join today by visiting bcam.org, because better coaching always matters.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's. Dough Raiser. Your team or school can sell paper pizza certificates that can be redeemed for 1 medium pizza at participating locations.
This fundraiser has been awesome for our squad. We've made a lot of money, very easy to do, it's very quick to do, and it's very effective.
Go to doughraiser.com to learn more and sign up. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
When you graduate from Northwestern Tech, heating and cooling companies take notice. And getting noticed is nice, but even better when it comes with respect.
With a demand for HVAC techs and the type of money you can make in this industry, skilled tradespeople are getting the respect that they deserve.
Hands-on training, experienced instructors, and thousands of Northwestern Tech graduates.
In just 10.5 months, you can have the career and the respect you deserve.
Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school that works.
It's been a decade now that Jalen has been behind the mic and breaking the game down like nobody's business. But in 2011, Jalen came home, opening the doors of the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy, a charter school in Detroit that he co-founded. In 2015, the school graduated its first senior class, and all 93 students were headed to college military, or trade schools.
So making it to the NBA was a dream. Being the founder of a charter high school was not a dream. This is not what I anticipated at all. That's why growth and maturation is really important to me to try to help nurture young people. Because anybody that's watched me from Detroit Southwestern, say through the University of Michigan, you could pick any high school or any collegiate athlete ever and put them on a lineup and say, who would not be the person that's the founder of a charter high school? And I'd be one of the names. So it was just an evolution of taking school serious. I was an honor roll student in high school, made the dean's list in college. I am a college graduate. So all of those things were important to me then. So starting my foundation, influencing 5 kids with scholarships every year, doing that for 9 years, and then having a scholarship endowment at the University of Michigan, and seeing my city, Detroit, that probably has 65 current vacant buildings of high schools as we continue to open jails, gave me the courage to say, you know what, I want to try to do something great and bridge the educational gap for kids that can't afford private school and for parents who can't afford to move into a great district with a notable high school.
He understood how many people helped him in his life, and even though he's been extremely successful, he comes back and he gives back. I don't think there's anybody that I know that made the kind of investment in the education of kids than he has, his own money.
Because it's needed in our communities. These young people need it. And he went about doing it. And we're very proud of him.
My name is on the building, so I'm gonna own it. And I love these kids like they're mine. So yes, I wanna know the good days, the bad days, the discipline reports, who's getting demerits, who's getting detentions, who's improving in their classes, who's improving on their test scores, the kids that are doing notable things. I'm in touch with the student council, meeting with them when I come in town, talking to the student body on a regular basis. So again, it's just an investment that I'm committed to.
As far as hoops go, just like Southwestern back in the day, it's a process.
We got work to do. We know Detroit Southwestern. Okay, we got work to do, but the guys are working hard and they promise me they're gonna make me proud, they're gonna improve.
No doubt, a new foundation is being built and a new legend could be on the horizon.